Hello and welcome to the news on Magic Bricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Amata Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour.
Being a national hero, it's a shame actually if the officials are actually trying to demolish our site.
Day 5 of Bengaluru's demolition drive, Pathankot martyr Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's house not spared. Homeowners asks why target middle-class homes when erring malls are given a free pass. Mega Magic Bricks Now Impact PMC is reviewing its contract guidelines, indicates that a low bid is not key to landing a plum road contract. In fact, the civic body is willing to consider high bids if contractors can ensure quality, that is, pothole-free roads.
We have to strike a balance between the interests of the consumers. At the same time, we have to take care to see that the private people also participate in a big way.
In the National Capital Home Buyers Meet, Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu expressed concerns over RERA's powers to safeguard buyers stuck with delays. Starting with a big focus on this show, Bengaluru demolition drive today, the IT capital's civic body mowed down terror attack hero NSG commando martyr Niranjan Kumar's house. He laid his life down for the country, and despite several pleas from his family members, his house, which was built just a few years ago, was not spared. Magic Bricks Now has been covering the alleged civic apathy from day one. Middle-class families who have now been left without a roof over their head ask why are they being targeted, while several encroaching malls and influential builders are spared.
Even as the state government has announced a compensation for Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's family, thousands of other families across Bengaluru whose houses have been completely turned into rubble, like the one that you see right behind me, want to know why they are being singled out and victimized, while the officers who for years together collected their property tax, allowed these structures to come up in the first place, are allowed to go scot-free. They demand answers from the government, which has undertaken such a hasty demolition spree across the city, as to who those people are who allowed these structures to come up in the first place and why they are not being made accountable and brought to book.
Now, we caught up with martyr Niranjan Kumar's family. They say they are in a state of shock after losing their son. Now they are left fighting for their only home. Listen in.
We haven't got any response till now, and we haven't got in touch with any of the officials yet now, nor they have actually approached us. Being a martyr's home, it is actually their responsibilities to approach us before they breaking us down. So we haven't got any notice about this, and recently 2 days back they have actually put this markings, and that's what we have got the information.
What is your appeal to them? Because I spoke to your mother earlier and she's asking for some time so that you can make alternate arrangements at least. So what's your appeal now?
It's the same thing as my mom told. We are just requesting them to give us some time so that we actually one pillar would come under this Raj Kalve. So we are requesting them to give us some time so that we can build a new pillar near to that and then demolish the existing pillar. But we are not getting in touch with them. That is the only issue we are finding now. And being Niranjan's brother, I know what he has done for the country. He has sacrificed his life for the country. Being a national hero, it's a shame actually if the officials are actually trying to demolish our site. Being a national hero, they have to consider this, and they have to move forward. He has given his life for the country. One pillar would not do them anything bad, so they should consider this.
With that, we're joined in by the man in the saddle who is spearheading this demolition drive that has left several people in Bengaluru homeless. Manjunath Prasad, the BBMP Commissioner. Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks Now. Tell us what BBMP's agenda is at the moment. Also tell us how long will this demolition drive continue for?
Yeah, see, we have got a survey done by the Revenue Department, the Department of Land Records and Survey, and they have identified almost 1,100 structures or this an encroachment that needs to be removed. So out of 1,100, what we have removed so far is only about 100. So the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka has given us about 4 months' time to clear all those encroachments. So this will go on till all the 1,100 encroachments are removed. And further, the survey work also will go simultaneously. And if there are any areas that are left out, that areas also will be taken up for encroachment removal.
Also, the latest to that list of demolition is the martyr's house that is being demolished at this point. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has also said that he would reach out to the BBMP. Tell us what your response is.
Which one? Yeah. There's one structure which is, partially it is on the stormwater drain. So that we have, if I've told my Joint Commissioner, if it is on the drain, then whatever portion it is there, that has to be removed. But at the same time, government always can make a distinction in providing a compensation for this one martyrs, and that the government will look into it.
Now, a bigger concern at this point, Mr. Prasad, is that citizens in Bengaluru are not sure whether their homes are legal or not. Tell us how they can find out.
Any citizen who wants to purchase a house or a site or any property, there are a specified set of documents that one needs to see. And in that, most important document is the revenue sketch from the Land and Survey Department. And these sketches are available in the government departments for small token of this one price. It's about 8 rupees they charge for each map. So that being the case, they have to verify this and purchase properties, and it is all there. What has happened is some people have connived and they have manipulated these maps, and the corrupt officials along with the builders have joined hands, and these illegal things have been done.
All right, Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks. Now, meanwhile, people across India are shocked. In Bengaluru, people are asking, could their home be next? Meanwhile, a political parties cutting across party lines were quick to jump into the fray. Both the centre and the state government has assured Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's family that they will be compensated.
I don't know whether they have intentionally done it or just by accident, in the sense, one among many. I think that probably would have been the case. But in any case, I also would like to ask the BBMP to consider it in an alternative, somewhere maybe in a more safer sanctioned area. They can give an alternative site to him.
It's not a site, sir. It's only a pillar that is being broken.
Yeah, well, however you look at it, they should be protected.
On one side, you say unauthorized construction is going on, obstructions are being created, nalas are being occupied, old buildings, why you are not demolished? When somebody does something, then you are saying demolition is going on. From Delhi, I cannot interfere. It is called as local self-government, urban local bodies. It is within their jurisdiction. Whatever need to be done, they will be doing. In view of what happened in Chennai, floods, Bangalore, floods, Navi Mumbai, floods, Gurgaon, floods, I have made a public comment saying all the concerned must take whatever possible action with regard to stopping the encroachments, with regard to unauthorized constructions, because that are causing havoc to the larger society. Keeping that in mind, the states will be acting on their own. Center cannot interfere in the affairs of each and every local body.
No, nobody is affected because it is encroachment drive. Encroachment they have built on the Raj Kalve. Everybody knows. No owner is living here. Everybody has rented out, enjoying at the cost of the government. and I don't think there is any inconvenience to anybody. It is a government property, government is taking over its property. So the question of inconvenience does not arise.
As far as the humanity is concerned?
Humanity is the question. The humanity is concerned. If you see on your right side, they're all commercial establishment. Everybody has got a house. They have rented out, they are paying rent to somebody, some unauthorized person. They can rent out the same building somewhere else and do their business.
There is also a house of one martyr, Mr. Niranjan, who sacrificed his life in Pathankot. So his house has also been almost 5 meters inside.
Not 5 meters, it's 1 feet of encroachment is there that their parents themselves have promised to remove it. I'm grateful to them. By the time we start off 1 feet of, and we have also promised them all the cooperation that they require for removing that 1 feet of encroachment. We have promised. Because when we have taken up such a large drive, we cannot exempt anybody from this because nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. And then also, I'm very, very grateful and I salute their parents for being so cooperative with us, for agreeing to get the 1 feet of removal.
They will remove themselves?
Absolutely, they're going to remove it. I'm providing my people also to support them.
Our reporter Pooja Prasanna, meanwhile, also caught up with other residents who are martyr Niranjan's neighbours. They were not spared by the BBMP acts either. Some of them now don't have a roof over their head.
What can be seen only as a knee-jerk reaction to the floods that took place in Bengaluru last week, the government has undertaken a hasty and unscientific demolition spree across the city. While they're saying that this is for the public good and it is to make sure that the citizens get to benefit at the end of the day, to make sure that there isn't a Chennai-like situation, citizens here are clearly angry because they want answers as to how these structures were allowed to come up in the first place if it was indeed illegal. Joining me now is a man who's lost over 3/4 of his house. His name is Prakash. He lives very close to Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's house and he has with him a map that he has attained from BBMP itself. Let's hear more from him. Sir, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಕತೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ?
ಮೇಡಮ್, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇವರು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಗೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟರ್ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ಇರೋದು, ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಭಾಗ ಮನೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಮನೆ
ಮೇಡಮ್, 40 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮನೆ.
ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಹರಿತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡೋರು ಮೊದಲೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಟರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕು, ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ತರ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಮಗೆ? ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇವರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, BBMP ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಇತ್ ಕಡೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹತ್ ಕಡೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಭಾಗ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರಣ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವರೇ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವರೇ ಕಾರಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
There you heard it. Let's hear from another citizen here. Sir, you were talking about how everything is being done in an unfair and an unscientific manner.
I am on the bystander here, but I have come here to observe the atrocities that is being committed by the government. In fact, if we can go by the opinion of the Advocate General, former Advocate General, B.V. Acharya, he has clearly said that these operations can be questioned in a court of law and under the Constitution. That's what he has said, and it has widely been given publicity in the today's newspaper. I only hope that the elite lawyers of the city, they do file a public interest of litigation and come to the help of the poor people who have been affected in this exercise. And moreover, I don't call it as illegal constructions for the simple reason that Khata has been issued, they have been collecting property tax, and they have been enjoying those funds collected by the citizens of the country. When they are enjoying the funds, the citizens equally has a right over the property, and in case it has to be acquired for a public cause, then due compensation will have to be paid to them. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇದು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು, ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗಳು ಬಡವರನ್ನ ಹೀರ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂದು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ನೋವಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾರಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಅನುಭವಿಸೋ ಜನ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ?
Yesterday, while speaking to media, our Chief Minister Siddaramaiah told government will not compensate. Do you mean that BBMP is not government, BDA is not government, CMC is not government? Because we have paid betterment taxes, everything. Ekata we obtained, up to date tax we have paid. We have paid to government agency on there. Whether BBMP is not a part of government?
In fact, I was with the commissioner yesterday also in one of the discussion. Commissioner told us how these big fellows are escaping from the system. He says that,
Tell us how the big fellows are escaping from the system.
I'll bring it out. See, we noticed in one of the places there is a sanction plan versus what has been implemented on the ground by one of the apartment fellows. We saw the large deviation, and commissioner went there with the thing to demolish. Then the people resisted that. Then they pleaded with the commissioner for a 3 days time. You know, this happened on the Friday evening. Then in 2 days they go to the court and they get they stay.
Exercise is not being done by a set of dummies. It's being done by a set of experts. And those experts are guiding the BBMP. Now the BJP is of course entitled, because they are now in opposition, to say that, you know, this entire exercise is, something which is being done in a very haphazard fashion. They are welcome to say that. But the BBMP has undertaken an exercise, and these people who are today affected, nearly 90-95% of them had markings nearly 6 months ago to let them know that their properties were on the danger zone.
We had this conversation 2 days ago with the exact same panel. I accepted on this show repeatedly that we are not against correcting the problem. We will stand for more responsible urban development in the city of Bangalore. The problem I have with this entire thing is the manner in which it is being done.
He's almost 40-50 kilometers away from where the demolition now is taking place. They could have called officers, taken action against them, planned it systematically, given them compensation if it is a mistake of a commissioner or a BBMP engineer or a BDA engineer. And most of the areas that are now going for demolition were not even in BBMP, just when all these houses were built.
The first step they have to do is to identify and crystallize what are the specific illegalities being done by the statutory authorities. To my mind, the first illegality is that the job of a municipal corporation is not there to remove encroachment, that is there to raise illegal construction. If a landowner, which is the revenue department, if they have problems with respect to encroachment, they have powers under the Land Revenue Code to effect the demolition. So Karnataka Land Revenue Code is not being invoked. Instead, the Bangalore Municipal Corporation is being brought in, which is not the authority to remove encroachments. They are there only to remove such construction which is not in accordance with the approved plans.
Should we approach the High Court?
Yes, certainly. Now, number one, they should clearly say, yes, no, they have to approach the either the High Court or the local courts, because there will be revenue courts, because the job to remove revenue land, that is the government land encroachment, is with the revenue department. How municipal corporation is concerned with it? Tomorrow if a private person says, look, some builder says, look, my land is being encroached by some of my adversary, will the municipal corporation go and remove the encroachment from a private builder's land? No.
All these, the BBMP got possession of these lands in 2007 when Mr. Vamnacharya's government was there. Now it's like the cat having eaten the fish, which is now pointing at other people and saying, look, they have to do this, they have to do this, and they have to do another thing. I just pointed out that the councillor is a BJP person, MLA is a BJP man, the BJP MP is there, and now they are the fat cats who have eaten the cream of every transaction, and now they want to blame the Congress party and say, look, these are the loopholes, these are the difficulties, these are the failures. Now this is typically of the BJP. Now this is Mr. Vamnacharya is doing exactly the same thing by blaming us for everything, while it's their own party members who have benefited from this entire transaction. Each one of these violations is primarily because of the local councillor, MLA or the MP.
Are also benefited by the most ineffective legal cell in the government department called the BBMP legal cell. Not only stays run for many years, like the 20-30 years that Mr. Brijesh was saying. It's very important for us to understand that some of the demolitions are whole homes of people. Even if you are required to demolish a home that is sitting on a Rajakal way, what's most important, which is done in most civilized governments across the world, is to include a rehabilitation program, at least while these demolitions are being done.
Day 5 of the demolition drive in Bengaluru by the BBMP, and close to 100 properties have been moved on already. BBMP also says that this will not stop for the next 4 months at least, and will continue its demolition drive. Also, what we know is that 20 officials, corrupt officials, have been exposed and suspended. This is something that we will not let go here at Magic Bricks. Now we'll keep a close watch and bring you regular updates. Moving on from Mumbai to Bengaluru to Mumbai now. On to a mega Magic Bricks Now impact. Finally, quality, not price, will rule BMC, the civic body's tender process. In a bid to give Mumbai superior quality pothole-free roads, the BMC is reviewing its tender contract, and sources indicated to us that future contracts may not necessarily be awarded to the lowest bidder. If companies with higher bids can ensure quality, they could bag the contract. Disha Shah gets us this exclusive.
Following a series of flack from the citizens with regards to the Mumbai pothole mess, now the civic body BMC is reworking on the entire tendering process when it comes to road contracts. In fact, top senior officials in the BMC told exclusively to Magic Bricks Now that now the bid amount by the contractor alone won't be the criteria, but now the civic body could also consider giving contracts to the highest bidder as well. Of course, this comes as the biggest change, because till now we know that BMC used to give contracts to only to the lowest bidder, but now if BMC finds that companies' quality of the material is good and as per the standards, then BMC could consider hiring the highest bid, giving contracts to the highest bidder as well. Another big change that we could see if this particular policy gets implemented is that now all the tendering process will be at par with the state government. For example, right now in BMC, this is how it works, that if a contractor wants to register, then he has to have a minimum turnover of 40 crore rupees. But now with the revised policy, this won't be the case anymore, as now any contractor having a turnover of 5 crore above rupees plus will be eligible to participate. So with this, BMC believes that they will get more participation from the contractors. And lastly, we also got to know that now the entire tendering process will be structured as per the state government. So lastly, we also got to know from the officials that right now the draft is almost ready and will be published by next week.
Meanwhile, home buyers of the Pan-India group Fight for RERA teamed up with Rajya Sabha MP Rajiv Chandrasekhar and met the Union Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu to talk about the real estate regulator. After the meeting, the Union Minister said that the Minister of State for Urban Development, Rao Inderjeet Singh, will take a final look at RERA before taking it to the states, and that the protection of consumers' rights will be priority.
We have to strike a balance between the interests of the consumers. At the same time, we have to take care to see that the private people also participate in a big way. As we know that this housing sector needs a maximum participation both by public as well as private parties. I have already assured the House that it will be a regulation, not a strangulation. At the same time, I am receiving a lot of complaints by fly-by-night operators. Everybody has taken them for a ride. So how to tighten it? Keeping that in mind, I have given the necessary instruction to my department. Now representatives are coming from CREDAI, from other people, and then also from the consumers. I am asking my MOS, Mr. Rao Inderjeet Singh, before finally we take it to states, to have a final look. And the interest of the consumers will be are uppermost in our mind. We will do everything possible to protect their interest.
Today we met Honorable Housing Minister, and yesterday we met Honorable Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji. He only heard our points, and after getting convinced, today he took our delegation to Honorable Housing Minister, and today we explained him how this draft rule which has been put into public domain for comments is not sufficiently covering the protecting the buyers of ongoing projects. We have found on scrutiny that the rules which has been uploaded is tilted towards the promoters of the ongoing projects, and it appears that attempt has been made to dilute this, especially for the promoters of ongoing projects.
Basic intent एक्ट का था
कि जो प्रेजेंट होम बायर्स हैं ऑनगोइंग प्रोजेक्ट्स के, वो त्रस्त थे, उनका शोषण हो रहा था। ये बिल्डर्स आज तक अपने सेल्स डॉक्यूमेंट में और पब्लिसिटी डॉक्यूमेंट में, पब्लिसिटी मटेरियल्स में बहुत बड़े बड़े वादे करते थे और उन वादों का कहीं पर ये पालन नहीं होता था।
Moving on to Pune, in the latest development in the Pune Park Express slab collapse case on the 29th of July, a Pune Magistrate District Court has rejected the bail application of the 3 arrested accused, the project in charge as well as one of the project employees. Now, the police have arrested Mrigang Constructions Bhavin Harshad Shah, project in charges of the Park Express joint venture, Dhyaneshwar Chavan and Santosh Chavan, and project employee Shrikant Kisan Pawar. All 3 are currently lodged in Nirvada jail. These project employees had filed a bail application before the Court of Magistrate, and the court observed that police require more time to investigate this case since the prime accused are still at large. The Pune police are currently on the lookout for accused developers Arvind Jain, Shravan Agarwal, Kailas Vani and Shamkant Shende. Their anticipatory bail application was also rejected by Pune Sessions Court last week and is yet to be heard in the Bombay High Court. Moving on, the Delhi High Court today directed app-based cab operators in the capital to follow the fares prescribed under radio taxi scheme of the state government and not charge exorbitantly under the guise of surge pricing after 22nd of August. Uber, meanwhile, has asked the court for 10 days to make the required changes in its software so the customers are charged appropriate rates. The court also observed that a policy could be set up to regulate these cab aggregators. It directed that the centre should set up a committee to monitor the issues related to the permits given to cab aggregators and taxis. With that, we've completely run out of time here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.